Hi there, my name is Jordan WEST-PRATT, and this is for the Science Curriculum Group, and this is our research and development plan for 2015-2016. It's widely recognized that the duties undertaken by experienced technicians have a significant positive impact on the classrooms and the quality of education therein within our system. We all recognize the tremendous value that our lab technicians play, and it's important for us to continue to nurture that resource. Something we've decided to explore for 2015-2016 is the status of school science laboratory technicians within ESF secondary schools. It's emerged as an area that we identify as one of our greatest assets and yet possibly underutilized. We feel as a Heads of Science group that there's an urgent need for studies of good practice and the role of management for such a vital resource. The scope of the investigation. We'd like to start with the state of the question. What is the role of technicians within ESF currently? What are the technician needs within ESF schools? And how does this compare to technicians in other subject areas or possibly other fields? Technician turnover was an area of concern that came up in our discussions. How are we finding, hiring, and retaining good quality technicians? And once we have hired good people, what kind of opportunities for advancement and training are we giving within ESF? We need to start by evaluating technician turnover. Let's have a look at whether our perception of how many technicians we're losing matches other disciplines within ESF schools or even other fields outside of teaching. We have some assumptions. One is that we need to take a look at career advancement options. Is there a stable career structure? Two is, are we losing technicians simply to better paid opportunities outside of the school system? Section C is our timeline. At the end of the presentation, I'll take some time to go through where we expect to be and what we expect to achieve throughout the course of the next academic year. The role of technicians within ESF is something we'll look at through a number of possible research methods. Some avenues we may pursue include, we may simply compare job descriptions across schools. We may conduct face-to-face interviews with technicians of all three levels. We could possibly interview heads of science and possibly survey teachers, establishing what technicians see themselves as doing, what heads of science expect from their technicians, and what teachers are doing in practice with technicians. In order to do this, we'll look at the research provided in current literature. We have three main sources that we've started with, presented by Mark Hackling, Derek Blees, Hugh Busher, and a CLIAPS presentation. All three of these resources will be in the credits at the end of the presentation, and they'll be available to anyone who wants to look at them. These three pieces of research represent a starting point for a discussion. We'll also spend some time talking with ESF to find out how they determine the needs and department heads to find out what control they have over that. Is the process consistent across all schools, and how are we making the evaluations? In Section B under Rationale for Research, the first thing we need to do is evaluate our technician turnover. There are some comparisons that need to be made. We first need to look at the data for as long as we can go back with each school, the rate at which technicians leave for other positions. Then we need to take a look at how this compares to technicians in design technology or art, for example, or how it compares to turnover for technicians outside of the educational field. Under Rationale, one of the things we need to look at is evaluating technician turnover. The simplest and obvious step is to take a look at number of technicians who have left per school per year for as long as we have that data. It would be good to look at how lab technician turnover within ESF schools compares to technician turnover in other industries. It's possible that technicians leave because there aren't clear career advancement opportunities within ESF. A second option is that ESF schools are not able to offer the same kind of compensation that an equally skilled technician can receive outside of schools. Our timeline. August through September is reading time. We have three main resources that we're going to start with. We'll disseminate the information presented there as efficiently as we can amongst the heads of science and decide if there's any further reading to be done before we begin. October through December of 2015 will be data collection in schools. This may include face-to-face interviews, visits, video chats. It may also simply include surveys or questionnaires, and obviously some coordination with human resource departments to collect the data we need. January through February will be analysis of these results, taking a look at what we've come up with so far and deciding if we need to do further analysis. March through May will be follow-up or further research. If we're satisfied with the amount of data we've collected, we may find actionable items that we can start talking about. If not, we may need to go back and talk to other stakeholders. June through August, hopefully, will be our final analysis and the presentation of findings.